Hey everyone, welcome to our What is Coaching info session. My name is Melissa Galame and I'm one of the hosts this evening. Bailey is one of my dearest friends and a leader on our team, and she's going to be sharing a little bit about her story as we go through here. But tonight we are going to take you through the ins, the outs, and everything in between of what it means to be a coach, what it's like to be on our team, and why we're really passionate about sharing this with other women who are ready to transform and get healthy from the inside out, who have big dreams, who feel like they have an additional purpose to maybe being a stay-at-home mom or working a 9 to 5 or in their current profession, and nothing is off the table. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat and I'll absolutely get to them at the end. But before we kick off, I wanted to share a little bit about myself so you know who you're talking to. So about 8 years ago, it was a call just like this that I had listened to from my mentor, and I had been following her on social media, and I knew that there was something special about this opportunity, but I really didn't know where I could fit in. I was a busy mom of two, under 2 years, or I think I had a 2-year-old and an almost 4-year-old. I was literally drowning at work. I worked an hour and a half from my home. So the round trip was 3 hours total. I was exhausted constantly. I was always looking for the next quick fix. I don't know about you guys, but I literally did everything from Weight Watchers to Jenny Craig diets to cabbage soup diets to It Works wraps. Every diet pill that GNC and Walmart had to offer, I had tried it. And for a really long time, I had used substances to control my weight. And I knew that I needed something for me. I knew that I needed to take care of myself. I just really didn't understand what health looked like. The only people that I thought of when I thought of health was my aunt, who always walked around with her Weight Watchers cup and she'd walk up and down the road. And that really was my example growing up. I would literally bring a scale into work and we would have these weight loss challenges. So there wasn't really anyone who was setting the bar very high for me. I didn't have any extra time, nor did I think I could afford to go to the gym. I knew I could not afford a personal trainer. So I would literally just try anything that came my way. And I knew after listening to a call just like this that there had to be something to it. There were other women who were having success, who were feeling fulfilled, and you could just feel it in their energy and in their postings that this was special. These were strangers, so much like this call, we may not know each other, or the coach that shared this with you, you guys might not know each other, but that's the really cool thing about social media, is it allows us to connect with people. And most of the women and leaders on my team, I didn't know without this opportunity, or maybe we were acquaintances, but we become really good friends. So I want you to know, number one, you're in great company, because we all started the same exact way, with a desire and a vision for something more, but really not knowing what that looks like. Okay. Later on in the call, I'm going to go over some of the misconceptions. But for 7 years, I have built this business, almost 8 years now. It's brought me home to my children, which is crazy because I always thought I would climb the corporate ladder. I prided myself in working for someone else. Like, I really enjoyed that lifestyle. But something clicked when I got started in this journey and saw what was possible. And I'll never forget, I had watched one of my mentors. She posted a picture holding her two sons' hands, and she was getting ready to walk them to school for the first time. She had never been able to do that. And that was something that I never got to do unless I had asked for time off. And every time that I had asked for time off, I felt like I was inconveniencing my employer or somebody at work. I felt like when I went back, like the work was just waiting for me. I felt like I was constantly walking on eggshells. When my kids got sick, it would like send me into this massive anxiety. And I just thought, like, that's like that's insane. Like, she literally walked away from her full-time business where she was work where she was earning six figures, and now gets to be home with her kids. Like, I want to do that. Right. But I didn't really think that someone like me, someone with a background like that I had, somebody who had all the baggage that I had, somebody who had 60 pounds to lose, could do that. I didn't feel worthy of the success that I saw these women achieving, but I knew that I needed to at least try. And when I found out I was pregnant with our third child unexpectedly, I knew I didn't want to send another baby to daycare. I knew I didn't want to have to ask permission to be present in my kids' lives. And so I put my head down and I went to work. And now I've been home for 6 full school years. And I'll tell you, nothing prepared me for 2020. Nothing prepared any of us, I don't think, for 2020 or 2021. But being home with my kids last year during the middle of a pandemic, when the world shut down and teachers couldn't be in classrooms and kids had to distance learn, like that for me was such, like, I had so much gratitude for this business because there wasn't one day where I was stressed about who was going to take my kids, who was going to teach my kids, who my kids would be home with. Like I got to be present. I'm not saying it was easy because it was very challenging, but I didn't have the stress of that. And the other thing is, this community carried me through some really heavy things, right? I've walked through some really dark things in the past 7.5 years, and I've had this incredible support system that has helped me through that all, right? It breathed life back into me when I didn't know that the passion and the excitement that I could have for something even existed. It's given me a purpose to be able to serve and to touch bases with people from all over the United States, Canada. Like we're literally continuing to grow. And like I said a little bit ago, I've met some of my very best friends and experienced some of my greatest memories because of this opportunity. So next, I'm going to introduce you to Bailey. Like I said, Bailey is a coach on our team. She also is a mama of two. She works full time as a teacher. You'll hear some of her story. But she's one of those girls that I would have never known without this opportunity. Uh, I would have known her as an acquaintance because we live in the same county and we had seen each other at like gatherings or parades, things like that, but we never knew each other. And over the course of the past couple of years has become somebody that I text when really important things happen, when really hard days happen, when life gets hard, or I want a spontaneous trip to Santa Rosa, or I need a girls' night or something like that. We've taken road trips together. We've taken vacations together. Our families have celebrated things together, and she's really, really special to me. And because of this business, we're that close. I 100% credit it to that. So I'm going to introduce or allow her to just share a little bit of her story and, you know, how she came into this business and her hesitations and what it's done for her.
Hi, you guys. I'm Bailey. So like Melissa said, we actually didn't know each other at all when I started Beachbody. I was actually enrolled with another coach, and when that coach quit, I kind of rolled up to her, and then she just started supporting me. And I remember it was in 2015, and I started 21 Day Fix. It was back on DVDs, and then I quit, and I had nothing to do with not coaching, really just trying to lose weight, desperate to lose weight. And then I remember 2016, I started again. 2017, I started again, and I never made it through just 21 days. And so it was after I had my first son, who just turned 3. So almost 3 years ago, it was March. I decided to give one of our 21-day programs a start again. And I knew that if I could commit for 21 days, I could commit to any of the programs. And I still didn't want anything to do with coaching. I had just finished my bachelor's. I wanted to be a teacher. I was subbing almost full time with a 4-month-old. But I was also really miserable in my own skin. My pregnancy was hard. Motherhood was really freaking hard, way harder than I ever anticipated it to be. And so I was just drowning. I did not feel good. I did not feel like I looked good. I really struggled just to get dressed. And so I started one of our 21-day programs. I finished it, and I did it 3 times, just back to back to back, not sharing anything. Actually, I think I shared it on Snapchat, which was a very small number of people got to see it. And I more so just shared it like as a check mark, like, oh my God, I did it. Like, just prove that I did it. And then I went out, my husband and I went out for the first time. Lincoln was 7 months by now. And people were like, how did you lose all that weight? So I was really heavy for me before I even got pregnant. And so pregnancy, I only gained 10 pounds, but oh my gosh. Anyway, that was like the heaviest I'd been. And I was not happy. So we went out and everyone was like, how did you lose all that weight? And I was like, oh, I just committed to this 21-day program. And I really just watched what I ate. I drank less alcohol. I didn't cut alcohol out. I still drink alcohol. Sorry guys, it's getting dark. But I added more veggies, I drank more water, and I was more intentional about what I ate and when I ate it. And I lost over 30 pounds between those 60 days. So after that, I was just hooked and I decided I wanted to give coaching a try. And so 5 months into coaching, I was like, okay, this isn't really working, not really happening. And then I went to my first live event and it sparked so much fire in me. I went with another one of my closest friends who I wouldn't know without this opportunity. She's also a teacher at my school, and her and I went together and we spent the weekend and we just dove in 100%. And I came back from that weekend saying, like, I'm going to do this. There's no reason that I can't do this while I teach. There's no reason I can't do this with a baby. And so almost 3 years later into the whole fitness part, I've now been coaching for almost 2 years, and it's what started to just pay for my supplements so that my husband would be on board has now done more than pay for our supplements. My husband drinks our supplements. He's done our programs with us, and it's just completely changed.
Amazing. So as Bailey said, she still works full time. She still like has that other piece of her life. And so one thing I want to help everyone understand is that coaching doesn't have to be everything for you. What it's intended to do is to help increase the areas of your life that you want to improve, the areas of your life that you want to focus on. For me, like, I knew that my mental health needed a transformation as well as my physical health, right? It's also given me financial health. It's taken me out of working for someone else to being home with my kids and earning way more than I would have ever worked clocking in for someone else. Right. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit more about that as we go through, but I want to talk to you about what we do as coaches. So the first thing is you work on being yourself, your best self. Your job is your journey. Bailey just told you that she lost 30 pounds by following our programs and our nutrition plans, making small tweaks to her adjustment. Right. Sorry, getting messages. I lost a total of 60 pounds since I got started. I've gained some of that back. It's been a flexibility. I've gained muscle. My body's completely different shape. But it's also allowed me to like take control of like my gut health. It's allowed me to expand the foods that I eat. It's given me a vocabulary for things that I didn't even realize existed. And so I'm constantly just working on becoming my best self and getting healthy from the inside out. And then I mentor other people to do that same exact thing. Here's the really cool thing is though, we don't have to come up with the programs. We don't have to come up with the nutrition plans. We don't have to come up with any of those things. We have these incredible trainers who do those things. Okay. Next thing is we bridge the gap. We help people understand like how they can do this, right? Just like I told you that my mentor showed me that I could do this, then I started duplicating what she did. And that's why I've been able to build a team who now does that as well, right? And then we share the tools. Again, I don't come up and try to figure out all these things. Beachbody has created these incredible trainings and guides for us to use to mentor our teams. Also, a lot of the work that I do through business and professional development is what I'm able to help my team continue to grow. So essentially, you're not having to like come up with this big business plan and make this big, huge investment that you're never going to use, or we're not going to ask you to go buy all this product that's just going to sit on the shelf. Like I promise you, you're going to use your product. You're going to get results. It's going to inspire you to want to share this with other people. Because I don't know about you, but when I love something, I go shout it from the rooftops. If I see something at Target, I'm texting my girlfriends like, you got to go do this. If there's a concert coming to town, oh my gosh, we have to go to this. If I watch a show, you have to watch this, right? It's the same exact thing as we're doing. But the cool thing is you actually can get compensated. So I ask you this, what would you do with an extra $800 this before the end of the year, right? And I say before the end of the year, and I know that this is over a 3-month span, but I want you to think about this. If you help 10 people come on board with you, say it's your mom, your sister, your spouse, your closest friends, like all the people in your text group, they come in and they decide to join you, you could potentially earn $750 before the end of the year. That's a game changer for a lot of people, especially people who are short on time, short on money, like I was, right? I remember getting my first paycheck. It was $72. Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success or income. Like you have to do the work. But I remember like being like, holy smokes, that's like real money that's going to hit my bank account. And then the next week it was like 250. And I was like, oh, dang. Okay, if I can make 250, I wonder if I could do more than that. And I just kept setting these goals for myself. And this business isn't a get rich quick scheme. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's not any of those things. It's not front loaded like a lot of other companies. You do build over time, but that's why after almost 8 years, if there's a week where something's crazy in my life or I'm needing to just focus on my kids, I'm still earning a substantial income, right? Or if there's a week where I'm hustling my face off and it's hustle season, I'm earning a substantial income. But just getting started today and bringing on 3 people with you, that would be $150, which would make back your investment. So really asking yourself, can I afford not to be a part of a side business, right? So there's lots of misconceptions, and I want to kind of just go over these things really quick. So I don't want to be salesy. Guess what? We don't want you to be salesy. We actually help you learn how to not do that on social media. I would absolutely encourage you to go look at some of our posts and ask yourself if they look salesy. I always tell my people when they say, I just don't want to be salesy, I'm like, did you ever feel like I was trying to sell you something? And they're like, no. And they're like, then why would you think I would want you to be that? Right? We give you the skills and we give you the tools to transform, and then you go tell your story and you connect with other people. The next one is I'm not at my fitness goal. Guess what? I'm still on my fitness journey. As I said a little bit ago, I'm actually heavier than I was a year ago. I'm not at my goal. I don't know when I'll be at my goal, but this is a journey and not a destination. So I'm not overly stressed about that, right? We have women on our team, if you look at this picture, of every different shape and size, from every different background, every different color, every different zip code. Like, I promise you, you don't have to come in and be at your quote unquote fitness goal, because honestly, what does that even mean, right? You can look at somebody who's got shredded abs and 0% body fat. Are they happy? Are they confident? Or you can look at somebody who is, 250 pounds and maybe they are, sorry. Everyone that was going to be on this call is texting me right now. So really just don't let yourself get in your head about that. The next one is I don't have a lot of time. Bailey just told you that she is a mama of 2 working full time. I came into this business as a mama of 2 working full time and then had an infant in it. I promise you, we all understand time constraints. It's just how you decide to work this business and what you do with it. And we teach you how to work it in pockets or, an hour, 2 hours a day. Really, it's up to you how you do that. The next one is, who am I to motivate? You might be asking yourself, like, I'm just going to be getting started on my journey. Why would anyone trust me? I had that same hesitation. But the other thing is, when you get started on your journey, and this kind of ties in with I'm not at my fitness goal, people want to follow that process. If you just came in and you're like, ta-da, I'm at my fitness goal, and you didn't have a story behind it, people might feel like that's unattainable, right? So you motivate people by showing up consistently. You motivate people by showing up when it's hard. You motivate people by not being able to do, more than 2 push-ups at a time and sharing how after 60 days, you're able to do 10, right? That's what it's going to motivate people, by you not giving up on you. It's too expensive. I personally think that's a matter of opinion because I think we consume so much, right? Think about the last time you went to Target and you dropped $160, or Walmart or Macy's or wherever you shop, Trader Joe's, on things that you didn't necessarily need. For me, I went back to my bank account and I added up all the things that were extra that weren't coming out of our budget, like my manicure, like bottles of wine, like trips to the bar with my husband, like trips to Kohl's on my lunch break to shop for no reason. Like all those things were adding up. The energy drinks, the fast food on the way home because I hadn't eaten all day. I promise you, when you look at it, you probably can if you budget it right. And if you need to, you can save up a little bit. The holidays are here. You can ask family members for money for Christmas and make that investment into yourself also. The other one is I don't have spouse support. So we have a lot of women on our team who share that same thing. My feedback is prove them wrong, right? Make the investment, work your tail off, get the results, help people, make your investment back. I promise you, when you show your spouse the results and money, they're going to be on board. Happy wife, happy life. Promise you. Or happy
Mel,
girlfriend or happy husband. What's that?
I said I have something to add to that.
Yeah.
So when I got started, I wouldn't say my spouse was not on board, but he definitely wasn't excited about it. He was like, "Oh, great, here she is." He used to call me like, I used to just want to do like all those sucker things, like, what'd she get brought into now? And I wasn't working. My husband wasn't working, and we had just moved to Lake County from the Bay Area, and we were both on family leave with a 4-month-old. But he said, okay, do it. Like, let's see. Like, if you don't stay committed, like, you can't keep buying that every single month. And so I was like, okay, like, let's take $160. I actually think it was $180 then. Take $180, get started. And I never quit. And it only took that 1 month for him to be like, wow, she used all those supplements. She was actually serious. And then a year later, he wanted to do a workout program with me. And 3 years later, he drinks a shake every morning. He makes my shake every morning. And so while it didn't start out that way, and he definitely wasn't getting up to work out or using any of my supplements or even interested a little bit, watching me stay consistent over time, he's now interested in what I'm doing. So,
Yep. Again, if you build it, they will come. And that goes for your spouse and your family as well. The next one is I don't have a big following. I started with just Facebook and like 400 friends, and most of them were like people I had went to high school with that I never talked to. So believe me when I say we have the tools to help you expand your network, to have conversations. But we're in a day and age where people are connected all the time, and lots of people are looking for connection. That's what we offer. So I promise you can build that over time. Don't let that be something that holds you back. Next one is it a pyramid scheme? Isn't it a pyramid scheme though? I'm just going to leave it at this. Look it up. Pyramid schemes are illegal. I would never be on a call or wasting the last almost 8 years of my life trying to convince people to do something if it was a quote unquote pyramid scheme. This is my family's livelihood. I love this business. I love the integrity behind it. I promise you, it's not a scheme. It's not a scam. We're not trying to trick anyone into anything. I personally feel like we're providing hope and a solution. So what if instead of the fear of failing or the unknown, we started fearing the real bad guy, the regret of not knowing, right? There's so many things in life that we hold ourselves back from if we just took a chance on it. So you're probably asking yourself, okay, great. So what's now? What's my best option? Why start now? What are my next steps? So I personally think now is the best time to get started. We have like 50 something days left this year, and make a commitment to yourself before the end of the year. Don't wait till January 1st. Don't wait till next Monday. Join a team that's going to support you, right? We just launched a bike. We have an interactive live classes platform. These are all new things. We're just continuing to grow. I heard a quote once, or maybe it was a statistic, but it said the time that you join a company is when they're going through a big expansion. We just got publicly traded. Okay. This is a big deal and really incredible. And honestly, the investment is very small. I would talk to the person who invited you to this call or sent you the replay and ask them what the best solution is. We have lots of different options, but I can say most of the time it's less than $200. Again, go back to your bank statement, look at the last time that you did that, and really think about yourself. Like, what do you want for Christmas? Is it a pair of UGG boots? Is it, a fancy robe? Is it something that's just going to sit and collect dust? Or do you want to make an investment into yourself and feel good? And the cool thing is you get this all year long. Our mentorship is free. Like, you're not going to be paying us anything monthly. You don't have any monthly obligations. You don't have any quote unquote sales quota. You don't have anything that you have to do. But I promise you, the only thing that you're going to regret is not taking a chance. So I want you to really think of this as we close out this call. All the things that you think about that keep you up at night, the bills, the deadlines, the time constraints, all of those things. Are you satisfied with where you're at right now? And are you headed in a direction to live out the vision that you have for your family? I know when I first got started, I didn't really have big goals because I didn't really know what that looked like. I remember one of my annual goals that rolled over each year before I started coaching was I wanted to take my kids to Disneyland. I had never been to Disneyland until I was 17 years old, and I knew that when I was became a mom, that was something I wanted to do. We didn't go to Disneyland until my daughter was a year old. So the boys were 6 and 5, or 7 and 5, and Jenna was 1. I went after I became an elite coach with this company. That was the first thing that I wanted to do, was take my kids to Disneyland. That was a goal that I had since my oldest was born. I'd carried that goal with me for all that time, but I never did anything. You know why? Because I didn't really have an action behind it. I was still going to the same job, making the same compensation, taking the same route, associating with the same people. I wasn't really expanding my mind. I was literally clocking in, doing my job, exhausting myself, giving everything to my employer, and not having a lot by the time I got home. And then I came to this opportunity, and it breathed life into me, and it made me think, like, do I have dreams for my family? Do I know what I want to do? Am I healed from the things that I struggle with? And I started to get to work. The good news is all the things that you have in your big goals or the vision that you have for your family, it's all possible. And it's all within reach, but you have to create a plan for that. I want to talk about a couple of these pictures. So this first picture up at the top, you can see me speaking on stage. I was asked to present to the top leaders of our company, and I remember feeling terrified. And I remember just questioning, like, why was I asked to share this? But I also felt really compelled to give back to the company that had gave me so much. One of my goals in life is to become a speaker who speaks to large crowds, that motivates people, that helps them transform their lives mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all of those things. Beachbody's given me the platform to do that on a daily basis through social media. The next picture is part of our team. This community is everything to me. I've already shared a little bit with you about that. And if once you make the decision to join us, I think you'll see that firsthand. The picture over in the corner where you see the sea of red, that's our larger team. It's actually probably tripled in size since that picture. But this business has just blessed me with some of the most incredible friends and mentors and the most extraordinary opportunities. And when you join our team, you're a part of Diesel Nation. It's afforded us amazing trips. It's afforded me to be able to be home with my kids. It's afforded me the ability to dream really freaking big. It afforded me to be home with the kids last year. My oldest has this passion for rodeo that I never knew would exist, but it is very expensive and it involves a lot of travel, and I'm able to be present for all of those things. My kids are heavily invested in sports. I'm able to take them to their practices. I'm able to do all those things. Our family is making a really big decision of whether or not we move across the country. I don't think I would have ever done those things without this opportunity, because it's made me think outside myself. It's helped me expand and grow my mind and be okay with change, to be comfortable with growth, and to really not settle for less just because it's available. And so all I'm asking you tonight is just to walk away with this call and thinking, why not me? If they can do it, why not me? I want you to look at the big dreams that you have. think about the vision you have and think about, if you keep doing the same thing you're doing right now, is it going to get you to where you want to go? And if the answer is no, I want to have a conversation with you. And even if it's yes, I want you to think about how this opportunity can add to your life. Maybe it's more friendships. Maybe it's vacations. Like we didn't even touch on that. We get to go on these amazing trips, right? Maybe it's just feeling unfulfilled. I know lots of women who were in these really high paid corporate jobs where they wore these fancy suits and they, went into these big skyscraping buildings, but they didn't feel fulfilled in what they were doing. And they found fulfillment through coaching and being of service to others. And I just want you to think about what it would mean if you took a leap of faith and stopped questioning it and went all in. So that's it. If you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to the coach who invited you. I appreciate you for your time, and we'll talk to you soon.